Have you ever questioned if your mechanic is concealing anything from you or worse, bills you for unnecessary repairs? According to studies, more than 60% of auto owners had at least one experience when they feel misled or overpaid by mechanics. Believe me, it occurs more often than you may imagine. Here's the good news, however. You will know precisely how to identify and steer clear of the 10 most prevalent mechanic scams that people fall for at the conclusion of this video. It's time to protect both your car and your pocketbook, so fasten your seatbelt. The first fraud is the bait and switch components scam. It's the usual bait and switch with parts scam, which I've seen far too frequently. This is how it works. The mechanic tells you that you need this premium name brand item to address the issue when you bring your vehicle in for repair. You consent to their actions because you believe they are competent, but in reality, they charge you for the pricey component and slap in a low-quality, cheap counterfeit. That inexpensive component won't last, but you drive off without anybody noticing. It could break down sooner than you think, putting you back where you were before or worse. So how can you stay away from this scam? You wouldn't believe how simple it is. Ask if you the component when they bring it up, and be sure you verify the part number, brand, and package. Don't believe anything they say. Ask to have your old component returned after they're finished. A trustworthy mechanic will gladly show you what they changed. It is a serious warning sign if they falter or begin to make excuses. I promise you that there is no justification for settling for unethical behavior. A little attention to detail goes a long way toward protecting both your money and your vehicle. The needless flush of fluid is another typical fraud to be aware of. The mechanic will make it seem as if neglecting this repair would ruin your vehicle when you bring it in for a normal service, and they inform you that your transmission, brake, or power steering fluid is unclean and needs to be flushed immediately. Before you know it, you're consenting to an expensive flush that is unnecessary for your car. For the most part, the fluids are okay, don't need to be altered at all. They are only using it as a cunning tactic to upsell you on an item that exceeds their profit margin. How can one prevent this one then? Consult your owner's manual first. It features an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that lets you know when to cleanse or replace your fluids. Because they are aware that many people are unaware of the distinction, mechanics enjoy promoting these pointless services. Second, request to view your fluids if they are said to be contaminated. A competent mechanic will gladly show you how your fluids are doing. Additionally, get a second opinion if you're still not sure. Avoid being intimidated into getting a service your car doesn't need. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends if you find it useful. The third is charging too much for diagnostic services. You take your car to a shop when your engine checks, the engine light illuminates, or anything isn't working properly. After plugging in a scan tool and extracting the fault codes, they charge you a high diagnostic fee, up to $100. $200 or more for a procedure that only takes a few minutes to complete. Even worse, they may not identify the problem completely. They won't really diagnose, they'll simply give you the code and insist on costly fixes. How can you defend yourself against this, then? First, utilize a smartphone app that can read the codes on your car or purchase a simple scan gadget. You can spot the issue before you enter a repair shop thanks to these reasonably priced instruments. Second, before selecting a mechanic, make many calls and evaluate diagnostic costs. If you agree to allow them to do the repair, some establishments will give you a complimentary diagnosis. Lastly, confirm that you understand what you are paying for. A reasonable diagnostic charge should include the mechanic's time to look into and identify the problem in addition to reading the codes. The fourth is the recharge scan for the air conditioner. Imagine that you take your car to a shop after noticing that the air conditioner isn't blowing as cold as it used to. Your system is low on refrigerant. The mechanic informs you, "We will replenish it and you will be ready to go." They may charge you for the refrigerant, but they seldom add any. That's the trap. Or worst, don't include any. You're stuck sweating it out while your air conditioner continues to malfunction, and they keep the additional money for themselves. So how can this be avoided? First, before and after the servicing, request to see a gauge reading or pressure test of your air conditioning system. Don't simply take their word for it. Whether your refrigerant levels are indeed low is shown by these measurements. Secondly, see how they manage the procedure. Instead of merely filling it up and leaving, the good recharge includes ensuring the system is secured tightly and looking for leaks. It's a warning sign if they omit these procedures or fail to provide you with evidence. The fifth is the scan for uneven brake pad wear. When you bring your vehicle in for a standard brake inspection, a mechanic informs you that all 4 of the pads and rotors need to be replaced right away. In the hopes that you won't question it, they will say it's a safety concern. The reality? The majority of the time, just 1 or 2 pads may be worn unevenly. The others are still in fine shape. In order to increase the cost of the repair by adding needless components and labor, they are counting on you not realizing this. So how can one stay away from this scam? Request that they first measure the thickness of each brake pad and rotor and provide the findings to you. When a mechanic is trustworthy, they will show you the worn components and explain why they need to be replaced. Second, pay attention to how well your car brakes. Uneven wear is indicated by screeching, grinding, or tugging to one side. Seek a second opinion if the mechanic's diagnosis does not align with your experiences. Don't give in to pressure to replace items that are in great condition. Recognize the true demands of your car and follow them. Panic timing belt number 6. It goes like this. The mechanic informs you that your timing belt is dangerously worn and might break at any time when you bring your car in for routine maintenance. Now is the time to replace it. They put pressure on you to perform a costly repair that may not even be required by making it seem like your engine is about to break down. However, depending on your vehicle, the timing belts are really designed to endure a certain amount of mileage, usually between 60,000 and 100,000 miles or more. It should be okay unless you've passed that point. How therefore do you not fall for this? For information on the recommended timing belt replacement interval, see your vehicle's owner's handbook. It is not based on speculation, but on time and miles. Ask the mechanic to provide evidence such as obvious cracks or belt fraying if they say it's essential. Here's a pro tip as well. Get a second opinion and leave if they are unable to provide a clear explanation or are pressuring you to make a decision right now. 7. Rip-off of battery replacement. Let's discuss the battery replacement fraud, which is an all too prevalent scam. If the mechanic says your battery is dead or too weak after you bring your vehicle in for a small repair, you need a new one right away. Here's the catch, however. You may have a perfectly good battery. In order to sell you an expensive replacement, some businesses even manipulate the electrical system of your car to make the battery seem to be defective. Additionally, even if they replace it, they may charge you more for a lower quality battery. So how can this be avoided? First of all, don't believe anything they say. Request a battery test using a load tester or voltage reader, then ask to see the results. You can perform this for free at a lot of car parts shops, so you don't have to trust mechanics. Second, do your own battery check. The majority of batteries are marked with the date of manufacture. Unless there is some underlying problem, it is unlikely to need to be replaced if it is just a few years old. 8. The fear of tire replacement, a traditional fraud aimed at draining your finances. This is how it takes place. When you bring your car in for a routine maintenance, the mechanic informs you that your tires are dangerously worn and urgently need to be replaced. They will depict impending blowouts or collisions, putting pressure on you to get new tires right away, sometimes at exorbitant costs. In reality, they're wagering you want to know how to check that your tires may still have a lot of life left in them. It's simpler than you may imagine. Use the easy penny test to check your tire wear before you go to the shop. Lincoln's head down, insert a penny into the tread. It's time to replace him if you can see the top of his head. Seek for the tread wear indication bars as well. The tire is worn when they are flush with the tread. Here's a hint too. Always request that the mechanic demonstrate the tire problem for you. Seek a second opinion if they are evasive or unable to explain it. The 9th is the engine flush scam. This is a source of income for dishonest mechanics. The swindle of engine flushing, where the mechanic informs you that your engine oil is full of sludge when you're there for an oil change. It might cause serious harm if you don't clean your engine straight away. They give you the impression that there is a ticking time bomb behind your hood, although this is not the case. If you've been getting regular oil changes, most contemporary engines don't need a flush. Unnecessary engine flushes might actually do more damage than help, since they can remove material that could jam important engine parts. So how can you avoid falling for this scam? Observe the maintenance schedule for your vehicle. You most likely don't need a flush if you've been changing your oil on schedule and with the proper kind. Ask them to show you the dipstick or the area where sludge is visible behind the oil cover if they say your engine is full of sludge. Avoid letting a basic oil change become a costly, pointless procedure. Keep yourself informed and resist the urge to waste your money. Spark plug overkill is number 10. This is a simple yet successful hoax. The spark plug is excessive. Your spark plugs are shot. The mechanic informs you when you bring your vehicle in for standard maintenance. They must all be replaced immediately. The majority of contemporary spark plugs are designed to last at least 60,000 to 100,000 miles, but they don't tell you this. There is often no need to replace them early unless your car is misfiring, operating rough, or has a planned replacement. However, since most consumers don't question it, mechanics are aware that spark plugs are a simple upsell. The first step in avoiding this fraud is to find out how often spark plug replacement is advised in your vehicle's owner's handbook. Mileage, not conjecture, is the basis. Ask to examine the old plugs and ask the mechanic to explain the problem if they insist that you need new ones. Unusual wear, a broken electrode, or significant carbon accumulation are all telltale indicators of worn spark plugs. Additionally, don't allow them to persuade you to replace perfectly excellent plugs if you're still not convinced. You're in charge of your vehicle. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, stay safe, and see you in the next one.